What are some tips if you don't like the way your body looks or how you behave around people? All right, so that's two questions. We got to separate them, right? So for one, if you don't like the way you look, right? Listen, we all have issues with how we look at times in our life. Some days we wake up, we're like, yeah, I feel good, I'm looking good. Other days you wake up, you're like, oh, I look awful, right? Sometimes you put some certain clothes on, and you think, oh, this is horrible, right? So don't get down on yourself because you sometimes don't like the way we look. That's normal. And I'm gonna say normal because mostly everybody, if not every single person, has had times where they don't feel so great about how they look, right? So don't come down on yourself on that. Now, how do we get over that? That's a bigger problem, right? It's a hard thing to get over not feeling comfortable with our body. I mean, there's so many messages around us about what we should look and how we should be pretty and fit and all that, right? It's hard to just say, get that out of my life. I'm not going to listen to it. But kind of that's what you have to do. You have to say, you know what? You are who you are. You only have one body in life, right? This is who you are. You've got to learn to be comfortable with it, right? You have your body. There are little things you can do. You can wear, things like makeup. There's, different clothes. There's lots of things you can do to make you feel a little bit more comfortable about yourself. But you are who you are. And at some point you have to say, you know what? I've got to be comfortable because it does no good to be miserable about your life for the rest of your life, right? You are who you are and be happy for that. You're an individual and that's special. So the other part of your question is how to behave around people. Now, that one is totally your control, right? How you behave is up to you. If you are having trouble with your behavior and not being able to control yourself, that's a bigger problem. That might need some help, some kind of what we call an intervention, where somebody who works specially with behavior and controlling things like your anger or your anxiety and your emotions. If it's a real struggle that you can't control how you behave around people, then I definitely would talk to your parents or your guardians, whoever you live with, and say, we need to see a GP because this is causing problems, right? Other than that, you have control over it, right? You are who you are. You can say, you know what, this is the wrong way to behave. I'm getting a negative reaction from people. People aren't liking how I'm treating them, so change it, right? Thanks. How do you know if someone has a mental health problem and how can we help? Well, that's kind of a tough one because with physical health problems, you can usually see it. If someone breaks their arm, they come in with a cast and you know that they were hurt, and we can make, they can leave lessons early to get to class. They don't have to, go through the crowds. So we can see that. With mental health, we can't necessarily see it. So it's always a little bit more difficult to know if someone has a mental health problem, right? So they could tell you, and hopefully they feel strong enough and empowered enough to be able to talk to you or someone else. Maybe they are talking to someone and you don't know that. So we have to understand, if you're concerned about a friend, ask them, or a family member or anyone. Ask them if they're okay and if there's anything that you can do to help them. Sometimes they just need someone to listen to. Sometimes they might need some more professional help, in which case you could say, I can go help you find some, right? Maybe you want to go to the doctor with them. Maybe you want to look it up and find out what resources there are. Maybe come to me or another person at school and say, hey, where can I give this person help, right? So if you're worried about someone, first thing you can do, talk to them, ask them. And then if you're still concerned, talk to an adult, somebody at school, or somebody you trust that can help guide you in the right place, okay? Why am I always sad? Geez, that's kind of a deep question. For one, don't be afraid of being sad. Sad is a healthy emotion, right? We all experience lots of different emotions, and there's nothing wrong with being sad, right? It happens. Things make us sad. When it becomes a problem is if you are sad more often than not sad. You feel sad so much that you're not able to do things like go to school, talk with your friends, do things that you used to like doing, eat the foods that you like eating, all that kind of stuff. If you can't do that because you're too sad for a while, you're talking like a month or two, then maybe you might want to talk to your GP and get a referral for the well-being program. Or, with mental health, you can refer yourself. So you can contact the well-being program and have a conversation with them and make an appointment. That is, you don't even have to go through a GP for that. But just remember, it's normal to feel sad. Don't beat yourself up because you're feeling sad. Everybody gets sad a little bit at times. Just if it's too much and it's more often than not, that's when you might want to seek some help. So this question says, my dad said he's going to leave and I can go with him, but if I do, I never see my mom. And if I don't, I never see my dad. So really what this question is talking about is when your parents are separating. Right? I can personally relate to that. My parents got divorced when I was 5, so I had to kind of have 2 lives. I had my life with my dad and my life with my mother. It's not easy, but there's lots of different kinds of families. Not everybody has a mother and father that live at home and do that. There's so many different kinds of families. So don't feel like it's going to be awful because you have to you're trying to spend time with both your parents at different times. That's okay. In fact, it's getting more normal. Now, as far as never getting to see your mom or dad, I don't know your personal story, but they both have the right to see you. If you want to see both your mother and your father at different times, you have every right to do that, all right? So don't feel like you're never gonna see one parent if you go to live with the other one. If you want to see them, you can make it happen. Just make sure your wishes are known. Talk to your parents and say, I'm scared about this. I'm not happy with what's going on. Can we make sure that I still get to see either my mother or my father, whoever you decide to live with, all right? Don't stress out about it. There are people that can help you. If you really are concerned, talk with someone at school that you trust and we can help you out through the process.